Hey. It's been a minute. Just a couple weeks, man. Welcome to Most Wodo. Welcome to the NOTI Lounge. I'm your host, Troy Smith. I want to talk to you a little bit today about some things, about the title. What does equality actually mean? What does equality actually mean to you is the question, too. You know what I'm saying? All right, so welcome to season 2. This is actually season 2 of the NOTI Lounge. More in depth, it's probably going to be some more one-on-one conversation that I'll be having, not one-on-one, more solo conversation I'll be having now for this next season as well. Take a lot of work, man. Look, if you have not subscribed to the NOTI Lounge, NOTI LOUNGE, make sure you do so. Definitely head over to the YouTube page, subscribe to the NOTI Lounge. Also, I'm the co-host of Two Brothers with my boy Trevor Jackson. Make sure you subscribe to that on YouTube and all the platforms as well. All social media platforms, all the podcast platforms. Make sure you do so. Just make sure if you like the content, you like what's been talked about or going on with the NOTI Lounge, also with the Two Brothers content, which is basically two brothers from the inner city, the projects of Knoxville, Tennessee. And we actually decided to create something where we can actually have elevated conversations to show that you can be from the inner city as well and still be educated. Have educated conversation. We covered everything from just the normal, the top of the line topics to educational understanding of some stuff educationally, to relationships, to sports, to whatever we want to talk about, we talk about. So make sure you subscribe to Two Brothers. Also, make sure you definitely subscribe to the NOTI Lounge. So let's go on and get to it. What does equality actually mean, and what does it mean to you? So we go to the Webster Dictionary about what equality actually means from the standpoint of Webster Dictionary. On Webster.com, it says the state of being equal, especially in status, rights, and opportunities. That's what equality means in the dictionary. So every time we hear the term equality, we always hear the term about being equal. We hear the term in the sense of being, of course, equal, and then we always hear it in the idea of saying, I want my daughter or my son, my daughter to be able to have the same rights as my son, or females have the same opportunity as males, or if you're from different from a different background racially, we want to have the same opportunities as other people do that don't look like you. That's what equality actually means, being equal. But then also we always like to throw that in regards to saying people start off at the same spot. They start off in the same level, same place, same spot as others. Now, is that really logical though? Is it logical that, people, we would like to aspire to be like the next LeBron James or Warren Buffett, or we aspire to be those people like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos and all these people, but not ever taking into account the work it took to get there though. So we expect to start off on the same at the same start line as everybody else. Does that truly make sense? Is that truly logical? And I don't know how logical that would be. I don't know how realistic that would be. So people go actually move themselves to do something else. For example, my wife and I live in an area in a county where they have good schools and good, where you can actually have a good place of living in general. Because we decided to make that decision to set our family up in a better opportunity, have better opportunity. Our kids go to certain schools to have opportunities to do great things. So should I expect someone that may be from another area that may not have such a strong school for them to start off at the same spot or to start the same level as my children? More than likely, there's going to be a disadvantage there. But we always hear people say, I want equality to be this to where everyone can start off in the same foot, is that really logical? The same standpoint. Does that make sense? Look, call in if you like. I want to hear your thoughts and ideas and your what you think equality means and what equality means to you. 615-745-9438. Having someone start the same spot. We let me ask you this now. If you went to your job and you've been putting in all type of work, we do this all the time, and then someone come behind and say, hey, I want to do that same job, and someone get that job that has not put in the work you've put in, would you want them to start off at the same spot, or do you want them to start at the back of the line? Think about it. If you actually go to the restaurant or go to the store and you're in line, standing there waiting, and someone decides to, as we used to call it, break line in front of you and just get in front of you, hey man, I should start up here with you. Or you're not going to be actually feeling you're not going to feel some type of way upset about that. And they say, hey man, hold on a second, bro. This is all equal. We should be able to start the same spot. You might have been here before me. You might have woke up at 3:00 in the morning. You might have went to go put in some work. But man, we should all start at the same spot. Is that logical? No. So when I hear the term, people saying, you want the equality, want to be equal, want to have equality, is it really logical for someone to believe that, to start from nothing, to start from not putting any work in it, and to be exactly where I am today? Yes, but take race out of it. Take certain things out of it. Just like, should you expect when it comes down to age, someone is 75 years old, and then there's someone that's 35, to have the life experiences as a 75-year-old person? I'll wait on that. Of course not. That person don't have the life experiences that person is 75. The 35-year-old don't have the life experience the person is 75 years old. There's no way that can be equal. It can't happen. Do we all have a point? And I'm just having the discussion of want to understand, get other people's perspective, not other than my own. Do we all discriminate at times against each other, or no? Do we all discriminate at times unintentionally? Not to hurt nobody's feelings, but do we not discriminate at times on our own? For example, you may start a company, you want to leave a legacy behind for your children. So you're doing all this hard work to actually make something big for your kids. Do you not have in mind already, you in a sense discriminating? I'm not trying to be mean, baby, I'm sorry, but my son has been groomed and placed here for a purpose. We oftentimes do that, right? That's exactly what happens at times. So I say this. The reason why I want to do this live today, because I was listening to is it Boyce Watkins? I believe that's what his name is, and he was talking about how Master P was upset and calling out what's that? Clubhouse. And once again, we've made another one of them, meaning white people, a white person, someone, billionaires. And I also want to know, but I want to know this: is it Clubhouse fault? Is it really Clubhouse fault that a demographic of individuals, Black people, decided to make that their place of being, of conversating and getting in chat rooms and all that? Is that actually their fault? Or did they say, hey man, we got a lot of Black people on our app. Let's start focusing more towards that. Whatever that is, whatever their marketing plan was. They started going towards that. Boyce Watkins says this, man, and I don't listen to him much, but he said something that really that sat with me a little bit. And he said, for African Americans to always be non-resourceful, African Americans, Black people are always able to bail people out. They're always able to make people billionaires. They're able to save the Democratic Party. They're able to save, a whole lot of huge just going on about how it's for them to be the most unresourceful group of people. They always have enough resources to bail people out. How is that? Is it the fact that that people say, hey man, we want to go towards, what is it really? What is it? How does that happen? Don't have no money. We don't have no resources. Don't have nothing. But we always got enough money to bail somebody out or something. Make people billionaires. And if you're an entrepreneur looking at this or listening to it, oftentimes people like myself or Black entrepreneurs create companies at times so people don't know if they're Black or white. They just creating a good brand, and they doing it without people knowing that they're Black or white, because you're either going to be discriminated against on the white side or other nationalities, and then you're also going to be discriminated against Black people, because sometimes Black doesn't mean quality. Black oftentimes mean short, non-resourceful, not knowledgeable. I got a friend of mine. She's a tech CEO, and she said that she went to go raise money with these angel investors or something like that, and they said, "Hey," when they found out that her app was owned by a black person, which was her, they decided that now we're gonna pull out because we know they're not. It's not going to be a good ran company because the young lady was Black. And sometimes we create groups, if you're an entrepreneur, businesses, to say, "Hey, I'm not. Nobody know what color you are," because you want people to see your brand and your talent more than your nationality. But how is it that, like Royce Watkins said, Watkins said, how's it that we're so non-resourceful, but we're able to bail people out? How is that? Money just seems to fall from the trees. But are you upset because companies like Popeyes or Clubhouse, Black people actually help these companies build, make money? So I was thinking about the idea about equality in general, and when we want to be equal, then it goes deeper than just the fact of race stuff. But could you truly expect to be treated equally if a country was founded without you in mind? Can you truly expect to be treated equally if a company was established without you in mind? See, that's why I'm always a proponent, I guess is the best word to say. I'm a person I always believe that people should be creators. Because if you create, you can create what you want to happen, your outcome, right? See, the good thing about living in a country where you're able to think for yourself is that you start to say, you know what, I don't like the way certain things are going, so I create my own outcome. And when you actually are a creator, you can do that. Who cares about how so-and-so is getting treated, someone's getting done? I'm going to show you what I'm going to do for myself and mine. But isn't that how companies and countries are established, though? They didn't get something that they wanted. They didn't feel like they was equal to, or they was getting what they were supposed to have. So they decided to create their own thing. So they go start another thing. But then doesn't the cycle continue to keep going when another subgroup out of that people that said they felt like they wouldn't get treated equally at first, then another subgroup in that small group say, "Hey, I'm not getting treated equally here," so they could create their own thing? Is that not the cycle just keep repeating itself? Wars are started and done begun like that, right? Wars are done like that. Take USA, for example, United States of America. There was new land, new earth, new world started over in the US with, when they left Europe. Saying, "Hey, I like the way things are run. I don't like the way things are run anymore across the pond. So bump them. Let's go ahead and start breaking stuff off and say, hey, we're going to break off from y'all. We don't need y'all no more. We want to create our own." So they started their own thing because they didn't feel like they was getting the same equal of anything. They wanted their own religion. They wanted their own whatever they wanted. Started over here, cut ties with the old school, start the new school. So within that same new school, there's another group that didn't feel like they was getting the same equal share. So they decided to rebel, because people oftentimes rebel if they're not getting what they want or they feel equal at all, right? They just rebel and say, "I'm out of here, man. I don't want to do that no more. I don't want that no more." So they create their own. So the cycle just continuously keep going. The cycle just continuously keep going. One of the groups they don't feel like they've been equal, so they decide to do their own thing, and they just keep it doing. And then that group feel like inside that group is another small group that say, "I don't feel equal." Then they go do their own next thing. So people just keep doing the next thing. The cycle just keep going and keep going and keep going. So the point is, what does equality actually mean? And if somebody were to start off with the same footing where you don't put in all type of work to get there, should you be upset about it? Oh man, everybody's equal, so we're gonna put you right here in front of the line with everybody else. It don't work that way. Prime example, in the business I'm in, I do mortgages for a living. I'm a mortgage lender. If you need a mortgage, let me know. If you want to know about banking in regards to buying a home or refinancing a home, let me know. We'll work that out. So I'm in the business starting out. When I first started out, man, of course, I wanted to be at the top like everybody else. I said, if that guy can do it or if she can do it, I know I can do it. But someone told me when I first got into the business, said, Troy, it's going to take you about 3 years. 3 years is where that's the magic number. Because what happens, people are not in something long enough to actually see some fruit from all their work. Because everybody wants to be up here. They never want to start right here first and work their way up to get there. They want it right now, right? That's what we're in. We want the right now. We're in a microwave society. So things weren't going like I thought for the first two and a half years. First of all, was I applying myself? And the answer to that is no, I wouldn't apply myself fully because I just expected or thought I should be there with no work. So I was talking to one of the big dogs, one of the guys that making some big time money, making big bread. He said, Troy, man, look, you want to do something. You want to be where I am, and I'm putting 15 years of work into this. You have all those tools you have all the tools to get to this level, but it's going to take time to get there. Now, of course, I'm not wanting to hear that because I want to be equal as this guy. And he was white. The excuse about, man, maybe because, what I look like, who I am, they could play a part in certain standpoints. But I'm just talking about getting started to make some bread. He said, Troy, you trying to get where I am, and I put 15 years into it. But if you stay in it long enough, put the time and work into it, you will be here and further. Wasn't trying to hear that. So the next couple months, I'm thinking I'm out here, I'm trying to get it done. I'm trying to go harder and harder and harder. And I'm just beating my head against the wall because it was not working because I didn't put in the time. There's a thing, who says that about the 10,000 hours? We want to be somewhere without putting any hours in. Like Jordan said on one of the commercials, he said that maybe I made this look too easy for you. Maybe I made this look too easy. You didn't see all the work I was doing before the game. We want to get there. So we think about the equality thing. I should be where he is today. I should be where she is today. Because we want to think about the idea of being on the same playing field. Look, I'm from the projects of things. I get it, man. I'm not trying to stay on that. But so, yes, there are some situations there that you cannot, you're set up with nothing. But there's a decision that has to be made. And if you make the decision to actually go to the next level of doing things, then you can get there. Yes, the outlets. There's a book written by Malcolm Gladwell. I'm glad you mentioned that, whoever that is on Facebook. You got to allow StreamYard to see your face or share your face because I want to see who left that comment. But there's a book by Malcolm Gladwell called The Outliers. And it's talking about how basically time and certain situations allow people to get to certain places. They're outliers. They're not like the traditional way of getting things. So I mentioned the story about Bill Gates about how he grew up in a certain area. He got to go to a certain school. He was born on this date. I mean, they broke down all of those things. He was able to get access to a computer lab when the computers first started, had access and opportunity to actually work on the computer all the time, started creating stuff, started coding, went to the school, dropped out, all of that stuff. But it was all timing and places, and it happened to be decisions that were made. If his family didn't live in a certain area and then he wasn't going to the certain school and wasn't given this opportunity because he was in this school to work with this teacher, he wouldn't be who he is today. Oftentimes, majority of the times, it takes decision that's been made to get to that playing field that everybody wants to get to, but they can't get there because they didn't make those decisions to be there. And this go for good or bad. Being a criminal or not being a criminal, same thing. There's people that's some career criminals. And the reason why they're so good is because they practiced and done it so much. And they were raised up in a certain area with a certain person that they allowed them to do this, and they made them who they are today. Same thing goes for the person that's the wealthy individual. They were around this person, around these people, had this opportunity, connection. Boom. So then we want to take our little connection that we have to get there to where that person is, that we're not able to get there yet because it didn't take the time. I wanted to get to that point of making $100,000 a month, $50,000, $20,000 a month, and I haven't even put in no work, and I expect to get there yesterday. So when you think about equality, my thing would be, I would ask you to think about, what are you doing to be at the same level and to be equal? We ain't got to the race thing. I'm just talking about in general, as an individual. You can call in. Let me know your thoughts on this. 615-745-9438. Season 2 of the NOTI Lounge. Going to be probably a little bit more solo discussions going on at this point at times. But I want to know what your thoughts are. You know, when it comes down to equality, what are your thoughts on being on equality? What does it mean to you? Think about those things. Should everyone start in the same playing field? When you don't put in work, do you think somebody should just come up in line and say, hey, I need to get what you got, bro. Appreciate you. Why is that? Man, because you know everybody the same. Is that not a socialistic thought process though? Uh-oh. Is it not a socialistic thought process that everybody start the same way? Nobody get to think for themselves. Everybody should start at the same spot. There's no way of elevating. There's no opportunity to do or think outside the box. You just should start right here and everybody else do the same thing. But let me ask you this. The same folks or people, when we talk about public figures though, even politicians, I'm talking about public service people. They want everybody to start on the same level, but then their kids don't go to the same schools. Public figures, public servants, how public schools are so great. Things are so good with that. But then their kids go to, in the Nashville, like MBA. St. Cecilia. Brentwood Academy. Innsworth. They don't send them to Stratford. They don't send them to Pearl Cone. See, I used to be upset. I used to get uneasy when I hear intellectuals, black intellectual men or whoever, talk about the affirmative action thing. I used to be upset when they talk about how affirmative action probably hurt the black community and blah, blah, blah. Hey, affirmative action helped me out in a lot of ways because the opportunity was there because they needed to meet a quota. So they say, hey, man, we need somebody of African-American descent, black. We need some Chinese. We need some Spanish. We need somebody who speaks some Spanish. So that opportunity from the affirmative action was able to let people come in and just meet a number. But then I actually sat back and listened to somebody, listen to some people, not somebody. And I said, let me just actually open my ears and listen to these folk. There's a guy named Thomas Sowell. I'm gonna find him right quick. But yeah, sometimes you make me cringe when I hear him sometimes. It bothers me a little bit every once in a while. But hold on one second. Let's see what we got here. Let me see if it's someone that's calling in. All right, there was nobody calling in, but let me find this guy right quick. Let's see. His name is Thomas Sowell. He was speaking about affirmative action. I don't try to find him. He's speaking about affirmative action, man. He was saying that how oftentimes it's put people at a disadvantage. I said, okay, what are he trying to say? But when he was going to Princeton, he says research done on when they come down to Princeton, research done when he went to school there, I think. And he said that, everybody was tested in when they opened up affirmative action. This was after he went to school because this guy much older. But when affirmative action put into place, they was talking about the testing of black students coming in. They were scoring at the 75 percentile range. But all the white students that were scoring in the 90 plus range. Okay. But he said those kids were set up to fail. Meaning the black kids coming into Princeton set up to fail because they weren't even at the same caliber of the kids that was already, the white kids are going in the 90 percentile range. Because those kids were given the opportunity to go to, for example, a Tennessee State University. Not given opportunity if they decided to go there, because sometimes those prestigious, not sometimes, we put prestigious schools at a higher level and just thinking that, oh, you went to so-and-so, so you must be much smarter. Not oftentimes. But they're saying that the black kids that were scoring the 70-something that got into Princeton, if they would have went to different schools, they would have excelled. They would have actually scored dramatically in a higher rate. They would have been valedictorians. They would have been on the dean's list all the time because they went to where they actually would be able to flourish compared to going somewhere and putting them somewhere where they actually are set up to fail before they even get there. That made me think. That made me think about the whole thing about equality. That made me think about the whole affirmative action of ideas with that. There's a lot of athletes that go to these schools, that got scholarships to go do things, that will never be in that school academically. They just there for sports. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if you agree, let me know. There are some people that's going to colleges that would have never got there before if they didn't have the actual athletic ability. So when they get hurt, or they no longer can actually perform on the field or the basketball court or whatever, they go to school just to finish school out. They oftentimes drop out because they can't keep up. So it's like me and my wife and I, our kids go to this like a private preschool or something like that. Because we've studied that between ages 0 and 5, the most critical times for a child of development. Now, I didn't have a choice when I was growing up to do that. And I could have stayed in the same area, but I wanted to have my kids and family, give them a better opportunity to do certain things or have the acronym to do the know-how or the intellect to do some things. Now, would I expect someone that came up in my same setting to be where my kids are today? No. Should they expect it? No, it takes time to get to that point, opportunity to get to that point. So how can we actually expect that to be an equal playing field where they don't have the same experiences? That's all. How can I expect to make the money this guy was making in the business I was in, and I don't have the same time? I didn't put in the 10,000 hours to even get there. Now, if I do that, I can expect to be at that point because I put in the work to get there. That's all. So throughout the day, throughout the rest of the day, throughout the rest of the week, I want you to ask yourself, what does equality mean to you? What is equality and what does it really mean to you? Because oftentimes we had a thought process and we listen to someone else tell us how we should think rather than thinking for ourselves. Remember to make sure you subscribe to the NOTI Lounge, which stands for not overthinking. NOTI Lounge stands for not overthinking it. Whether you're a business owner, someone that's want to just be educated on certain things, or just want to have some more understanding on some stuff, or just want to conversate. That's why it's a lounge. It's more of a conversational type deal. We just talking and breaking it down. But I want to talk to entrepreneurs and business owners and people like that, or that aspire to be a business owner, and help them not overthink their ideas. Take that idea off the paper napkin and put it out there into the world. So oftentimes that starts with just understanding basic things like equality. Can you expect to be a well-oiled machine running $1 million plus company and never had a business in the beginning? Or can you start step by step and get help not overthinking to make that next move to where you can actually become a thousandaire? From a thousandaire to a millionaire, to a millionaire to a big. I mean, that's where we're going step by step. Can we be upset when companies actually are meeting the needs of people? Because it's all about meeting a need. If you can find a need and meet that need, money will come. And that's what Clubhouse done. That's what freaking Popeyes has done. All these folks is freaking, are they really taking advantage of Black people? Are they really taking advantage of opportunity? Because folks have created a need and they said, man, give me this information for the free from all these whoever so-and-so. And then you just load it in and someone gonna spread the word for you. All about spreading the word. Free marketing. Somebody spread the word if you're giving and meeting their need. I'll holler at you, man. Be good.